In all my wildest thoughts, I never once imagined my marriage would collapse the way it has. The silence between us grew so loud it drowned out even the fiercest of our arguments. For years, I placed unwavering faith in my wife, believing that no matter how heated our disagreements became, she would at least make an effort to meet me in the middle. But something that happened last week shattered every conviction I held about our bond. Even now, when I replay in my mind, I feel the same dizzying shock. It started with a trip she was planning with her friends. On the surface, it seemed harmless, a short break, a chance to ease the burden of everyday life. But deep inside, I felt a gnawing unease I couldn't explain. Maybe it was the timing, or the way her eyes darted away whenever the topic came up. Or maybe it was simply instinct, a relentless whisper that something was off. I voiced my discomfort more than once, not to control her or clip her freedom, but because I sensed this trip would deepen the rift already growing between us. Our arguments, once trivial, had begun to carry more weight, and I feared this would only push us further apart instead of healing us. But she brushed me aside. "I need this." "You're making it bigger than it is," she said, her voice cold, almost rehearsed. And then, right in front of me, she packed her bag and wheeled it out the door, completely unmoved by the storm inside me. Watching her leave didn't feel like watching my wife go. It felt like watching a stranger walk away. That night, I sat alone in the dim living room, staring at the same door she had passed through hours earlier. My phone sat heavy in my hand, and I thought about calling, texting, pleading with her to rethink her decision. But the longer I sat there, the more a quiet determination settled in. Why should I chase after someone who so openly disregarded my feelings? Why hold on to someone who had already let me go? So I made my choice. No shouting, no broken furniture, no tears. I simply removed myself from her world. I switched off my phone, cut off every line of contact, and disappeared. I wanted her to feel the hollow emptiness of losing the person who had always been there for her. Hours went by, then the entire night. My phone remained still, the screen dark, no calls, no texts, not even a good night. I told myself maybe she hadn't noticed yet, too distracted by her so-called getaway. But as the hours stretched into morning, the silence grew heavier, pressing down on me. And yet, I didn't regret it. Instead, I felt a strange sense of calm, as if I'd finally taken back control after being powerless for so long. I went about my day as though nothing had changed, though deep down, I was waiting to see if she would realize I was gone. And then, late that afternoon, came a knock at the door. At first, I ignored it, but the knocking grew louder, sharper, tinged with urgency. My chest tightened as I approached, my pulse thundering in my throat. When I opened the door, there she stood. Her suitcase was tossed at her feet, her eyes swollen and red. She no longer looked like the self-assured woman who had walked away the day before. She looked broken, frantic, afraid. For a long moment, neither of us said a word. The silence between us was suffocating until she finally whispered, "Why did you disappear?" I didn't respond immediately. I studied her face, searching for sincerity, for regret, for anything real. And then I said the truth I buried inside for too long. "Because you left me long before I ever walked away." Her eyes widened, tears streaming down her cheeks. She stumbled over her words, insisting the trip wasn't what I thought, begging me to believe her. But by then, the details no longer mattered. What mattered was the painful clarity that the woman I gave my heart to didn't value me enough to stay when I needed her most. She kept pleading, her voice cracking, but my mind was elsewhere. I wasn't angry anymore. I wasn't shouting. I wasn't even heartbroken. I felt free. For the first time, I saw everything with piercing clarity. Betrayal doesn't always come in the form of lies or infidelity. Sometimes, it's simply the choice to walk away when someone begs you to stay. That day, everything changed. She stood on my doorstep, shattered and begging. But I had already made my choice. I wasn't going to vanish again. I was going to move forward, without her. And as I gently closed the door, leaving her on the other side, a truth I should have recognized long ago became undeniable. Love without respect isn't love at all.